Hello. How are
Hey,
you?
girly.
I promise
I'm
you,
fine. How are
this
you?
recording, it's already recording. What they need to know. Before this is over, I swear to you, I'm probably going to be an alcoholic. Get through all of this.
I will still love you.
Oh my God. My neighbors are laughing at me. We have this Sunday afternoon thing where we sit in the cul-de-sac and just chat. And tried to go out there twice, and I've either had school stuff, like teachers emailing me about, texting me about stuff, or phone calls, and they're like, Debbie, what in the world? When is school out so you can like come back to life?
Have a life. Yeah.
I was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm sorry about, I figured out what happened is because I paused it and I ended the meeting. I should have unpaused it and then ended the meeting, and it would have converted it.
Well, that makes sense, but I do not know Zoom at all. You've always set up our meetings. So,
That's what I did wrong. And I didn't know it didn't do that. I've never paused it like that before. So I
right.
didn't know I had to unpause it before I could leave the meeting for it to work. So that's what happened. So, Dr. Neal, I guess this is going to you. That's my fault that we did not, we've already Zoomed once. We had a really good Zoom the first time. I wish you had the video of that. I'm hoping this one will be good. But we are doing task 1, and it's Jennifer Ross and Debbie Parrish, and we are going ahead and doing our peer reviews for task 1. And Jennifer, you want to go ahead and go first? Are you on?
I'm here.
Okay. You want to go first?
Yes, I'd love to.
Okay.
So, like we talked about earlier, I really think this is, you always have strong writing. You can tell we're both talkers because we have a lot to say when we write. But you always have strong papers, but this one was to me outstanding because you did such a good job of balancing the research writing with connecting it to real world that it actually flowed. And that was very difficult for me, but it seemed effortless in yours. And I really liked that you included like the John from Darling Hammond. I felt like that helped in the organization because there is so much to read about the research and you're citing so many references that to be able to have a break in the text and just have a list to read or have a chart to look at made it flow more easily. So I really like that. I wish I had thought of trying that and been brave enough to do it, but I didn't. You had lots of different references, lots of strong research. Like I said before, I feel like it was interesting how we both really had a lot of references and a lot of research, and so many of them were different. Of course, some of the same researchers' names came up, but the references, we had different articles, different, sources, and it was just interesting that there was so much more out there that I didn't see. And yet, like you said, it was saying the same thing, even though the year span was a little different. And so anyway, and like I said, the only weakness that I cited, because I checked your APA formatting, the grammar was good, everything was great. I wasn't sure if we were supposed to include Marzano's 9, because that was one of the things that they listed as an example in the Aaptel, like in the handbook in the Aaptel, but I think that, you asked about that and it seemed to be okay. So anyway, that was the only thing I noticed out of everything I'd read that I could make a comment about. So you did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. And same thing with you. I thought that there were some strong things throughout the whole paper. I know you were a little worried about some of the aspects of elaborating a little bit more in certain areas. One area that you may want to elaborate a little bit more would be the efficacy area. which I found that to be the hardest area for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I struggled with finding enough resources for that. I don't know if I was not looking at the right place, or if that
Me
just
too.
wasn't, if that was a newer kind of terminology, educational terminology, efficacy, I don't know. But I struggled with finding, enough stuff for that. So that would be the only thing for that I could really think of. Like you just said, one of the things I thought was a total strength of yours is that you did a really good job of finding up to date, like 21st century, as far as that's the 21st century research. I tended to find stuff that was dated back in the 90s, early 2000s, which I still felt like was pertinent to what we're
I think
doing
so.
today. So I don't think that it's changed a lot. I think we've added to it as we've gone along, but I think it was a really good base start for things, because I think both of us use John Hattie,
Mm-hmm.
which I have realized that I really like him and I like his thoughts. So I thought that was really good that we both used, but we used a totally different resource. Both of us used different resources. So I thought that was great, that I think our resource list that, for long-term kind of stuff, if we need this again, both of our resource lists were very strong. So I felt really good about that for both of us. I think you followed the rubric perfectly. I feel like that you will definitely, when they're judged and looked at, or whatever the term is, that you'll definitely be in that 3-4 range. You've done everything you needed to do for that, to make sure that, you followed the rubric and you've done all the extensive research for that. Um, the only things I can think of that you may want to do is maybe use some of it. You've got a lot of really good reading experience with your students. That's literacy is a really big focus for you. So maybe putting in some areas where you've worked with teachers, your own personal kind of observations or experiences that you've had, you may want to add in some of those. Where it
Yes.
fits, where it may fit. I don't know if you're a mentor, that might be something that you want to add
Okay.
in, under the mentor section, maybe things you've observed during that. Um, the only other thing that we talked about earlier was neither one of us were sure about the grammar piece, whether we use the comma
Before the
before
and.
the
Yeah.
and. And that's just something I think we just need to double check, because I was doing that under the Aaptel, whatever the one was for Dr. Church. I was putting the comma and then they said to take it out, and then I put it back. And so I've gone back and forth with it. So you may want to check that. But other
Okay.
than that, I feel like that your paper was strong. It flowed. It was easy to read. Um, it wasn't it wasn't hard. I mean, like, I didn't have to like go back and like look from one thing to the other to try to figure out. It flowed very well. So I feel like you did a great
Okay.
job.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm this, it's funny, the things that you mentioned are the very things that I felt like I didn't feel good about when I finished with it.
Right.
I thought the efficacy part was too short, and I had the same problem you did, trying to find enough
Mhm.
about that.
That was
And
hard.
that I knew that I needed to put some personal stuff in there. So I was
Yeah.
glad you pointed that out, because that's how I was feeling about it.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I don't know this time how I just started writing for some reason. And you know how you just get those spots where sometimes you can just write, and
Yes.
I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And then I came up with what I came up with. I don't know how I did it this time. But now next time I could have writer's block
That's that's how
and
I
have
felt
no
this time.
clue, nothing to
Yeah.
say. I don't know what to do. Uh,
Yeah.
but sometimes I think in writing, and whenever you're thinking about, thinking about things, I think the literature also, the things we've been reading about in class has helped.
Yes, I
Um,
agree.
Especially chapter 1. I think that really helped to kind of lead us a little bit into what we're doing. So I
Yeah.
think that's been a plus.
Yeah. I feel like every week and every assignment that we do, things become a little clearer and I get a better picture of the whole
Mhm.
process. So
Right.
that's good.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, are you good?
I'm good. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome. And I will end it, and hopefully this time it will work.
Okay.
And I will send you the Zoom, the link, the YouTube link, and we will go from here. And if you get a text with tears on it that I've screwed it up again, hopefully I can fix it this time. Because it
No
still
worries.
says in the corner, it says recording.
I can see it on mine too. I think we're good.
I think we're good. So we'll see. All righty. Have a great week, and I'll be in touch with you.
Okay. Enjoy your night. Thank you.
All righty. You do too. See you.
Bye.